Prodigals Home Dimapur Party State Level Consultation Meeting Tagiche Media Houses or YouTubers Logo de Miligina. Aji Dimapur meeting de ethical or responsible reporting Grigina child protection do Majbud Kurubunimide consultation or open house discussion Krishe. IB details about.
This meeting is organized under our project enabling holistic safety and protection of children, which is supported by DKA Austria. And I am leading that project as the program manager under Prodigals Home. Through this project, Prodigals Home works towards strengthening child protection and prevention by encouraging safer environment, creating awareness, strengthening institutional system, and promoting greater coordination among different stakeholders. We all know that media plays a very powerful role in shaping how society understands child protection issues. A responsible reporter can create awareness, encourage action, and bring attention to issues that may otherwise remain unseen. We have noticed and we have seen so many cases from different parts of Nagaland which have been brought to our public attention through the media fraternity and the media house. Without them, we will still be thinking that Nagaland is a very safe place. But when we see at the other side, the reality, the truth is that Nagaland is no more safe for our children. And media plays a very important role. But when a story involves a child, how you tell a story matters as much as the story itself. The media professional, for a media personnel, it is very important to report responsibly, but also to understand and follow the laws, ethical standards, and guidelines that protect children. A careless report can unintentionally expose, stigmatize, or cause lasting harm to a child, while also putting yourself or the media house at legal and professional risks. Responsible reporting, therefore, is not just good journalism. It is also responsible towards the child and the law. Today's meeting is therefore an opportunity for us to come together, share experience, discuss how we can ensure that reporting on child remains ethical, sensitive, and responsible while protecting their privacy, dignity, and best interests.
The first observation that I would like to share is that gathering information on cases involving children in conflict with law or underage victims become increasingly difficult outside urban spaces like Dimapur and Kohima. The first observation, yes, fear is prevalent and stigma is large scale, and both play a big role in preventing such cases from coming to light. Also, it has been observed that though there exists child protection officers across the districts, not all are equally accessible. Few are easy to access, while reporters have found difficulties to reach or obtain information from others. We all must have read about the recent sealing of DCPU Longlang office by Home Students Conference, alleging non-functioning. Second is the lack of legal awareness. Journalists who have spent years reporting and have dealt with reports concerning children in conflict with the law or victims who are underage can do a better job because they eventually become somewhat legally informed. But such cannot be expected from someone who just joined the profession, especially if, like me, they did not study journalism. In such cases, the role of people at desk becomes more important. Further, in Nagaland, when a crime is reported, multiple organizations share condemnation notes, which many times contain every detail of the persons involved. During the editing process, we may remove details that might reveal the identities of the juveniles. But in this age, we all know that these condemnation notes are not shared only with the media, but find their way to everyone's phones. Data and details. Reporters also struggle to get their hands on readily available, updated, and sufficiently detailed district-wise data on crimes against children when they want to incorporate such data into their stories or prepare a detailed report. Our reporters have also experienced situations where officials were hesitant to share details. There have been times when reporters were approached by families of those involved in a case and even by church representatives to request to not go ahead with the stories, citing that an understanding has been reached. Finally, there were instances when we published reports that contained details that could be used to reveal the identities of children in conflict with the law or victims who were underage. We may have our justifications like that particular organization did not specify the age of the person involved, or that the press note with all the details came from an organization of legal authority. But our lack of awareness or information at the very moment when we are filing or editing the report can also lead to results that we do not want. And this should make us more cautious.
Regarding child abuse case, ekta differentiate junto amian janibo lage. We should know is that bishibak manuhan bra bamna gure media han logobra lapses bishi ahe. But Nagaland take the problem is kun bhi mic camera durishe le kuldo media person ho jaye. Because kun bhi aise kuldo amihan bamna oradu media person is. I mean kita bhi hude na na hude that person jun mic camera dure ase doing a reporting, pretending to be a journalist, no be ekta reporter ase kune to tai hosab rabi ase na nai. Whether he or she has a knowledge on tai ki report kure ase asena nai, itu bishi dangor ekta sawal ase. Child abuse case Nagaland de saishu gulido, it is not only in the form of sexual abuse, physical abuse bhi ase, alag form de, but also mentally bhi manoge bacha han ki jun to abuse kurala bhi hame dekhi pai. Kwanishna bisi bag to ami sai taka bhi jun to on ground de kaam kura manu han ase, tahan bra koa laga hisab tibi, aur ami han jiman tak jane ase. Bisi bag to clues thaka manuhan prahi abuse hoy. To bacha khan ke from the village bosti khan bra tolebe kunba ekta family napara khan bacha tala family de duita ase lebi family afford kurbo napara khan be ani gine bishi rakhala cases khan be recent time te ami han observe kurishe or saishe bishi deribi wanai this year dibi case thaishe Oitya problem as a journalist, as a reporter, amihan key on ground the experience kuriglo. The these things amihan jani bolage. Jitya amihan ground the report kurbu jai. We know the responsibilities that we hold towards the child because tai be future tala life age jai kine hobole ase. Amihan prai to sai kine buji kine those responsible journalists tahan pra kaam kuri kine to jai. But Nagaland de problem ekta ki ase bildu jun to aji moi sabu parishe through prodigal homes or idu program de dahan ko ado ami halna majud de journalist or jun kam kure ase tahan majud de gaps ke feel kurbo lagi ko ado. I think today is the right time and a day to at least discuss on this thing. Ko anishna problem inga ase ami han jitya try kure avoid kurbule that bacha laga identity tai laga ek bhi information nahi bule bahar de ami han ki to already responsibility under the POCSO Act digine thaka bhi ami han jani ase ami han laga jun broadcasting media print media lolibi traditional media de thakan do rules and regulations to jane ami han bacha laga identity to kite bhi expose kurbo na para hoi jane libi kot prai to expose hoi gule do close family members la majubra ami han lodi bhi information to first to nahale the journalist ke na punche de family friends punchi gine Facebook Instagram te hi post hoi jay tadi pra to already bachala identity share hoi do another problem manu ami han ke bishi sawal hudi thaka nolibi beshi bak pressure jun to ami han on ground te pa laga thaka la do ki ase gule se ekta manula gorde bacha jun ke abuse hoise ami han ke call aibo nolibi message kurbo kun ba to paise guli bi hodibo that apni han to kile edu manu laga accuse laga details to disclose korana edu koi do libi to disclose kurbo jeshi gule do ami han janibo lage that edu bacha to manu laga ghode thekishi do to taila fees disclose issue gule do khuli dishe gule do janai dishe gule do edu bacha la bi indirectly do olai jabo details manu to janibo do aro manu sob manu edu knowledge nai that ami han edu share kurbo na pare bacha ki experience hobo age de jai kine edu one ekta problem moreover ami han moi aji kotha kura debi kun ki bi against debi kotha kura noy but most of the time ami han saishu gule do student body civil societies khanla side pra bi bishi lapses hoidi jitya tahan interview dibele hai they want to share every detail tahan laga ekta tahan kam kure ase dikhawole garne time dido mukpra to ultimately tahan ido share kuri dido itu bi ami ane avoid kurbo lagibo aro ekta dido sopra ami bishibak face kurna thaka do pressure ami han ke some few influential manu han bi involved thaki to han case te. And the worst thing is that ami laga tribe itu to bishe adu ami laga itu manu ase, ami laga family ase, ami laga khandan, ami laga grandfather, ami laga uncle, ami laga dada ai to la shol do abishi bodna mo jabo. The person, the family, they didn't care about their own child, but they care about their tribe and their clan. It will be ekbar bhabna kori sabi that apni jitia clan tribe or influential manu laga influence pra jite itu pressure dai kin apni rukhi jai, didn't you just sell out your own child? Apni bra ultimately apni la bacha ge apni bra hi abuse kurubo dia ase to. Ei dokan field de amen jitia kurubule jai, cover kurubule jai. These are the on ground juntu reality de amen pressure as a journalist eda dak Nagaland de aro Nagaland de nowadays amen though we are trying our best amen la sai pranolibi those responsible persons who are working like prodigals home, their staffs will be commission khan pra bi kam kuri khan thaka dibi. It is not decreasing instead itu uthi ne jas itu cases child abuse la do day by day increase hua ase. There are lots of child abuse cases that those are not being reported. Inka bhi thaki jai.
The intention is always good, but sometimes it is the way it is presented that creates problem. Well, so these are some of the experiences that I get from what two of my colleagues shared just now. So in a way, the field experience that was shared by the other two speakers has, in a way, inscopulated what I had in my mind to share some of the issues in protecting child rights identities from law to newsroom practices. So we all know that this, as stated, the many times, because we are living in a very close-knit society, it is often through expression of solidarity and call for swift justice when sometimes it crosses the legal boundaries. And we as a media practitioner also sometimes falls, I think I should say we sometimes go with the flow and there's oversights. And this at times create problems and violate one of the most important things is that the privacy and protection of child rights. Now, if we look at this slide, this was shared by in Nagaland police official Facebook social media page. I have blurred out all the necessary details, but here even the police sometimes make mistakes of revealing the identity or indirect identity of the child. So this was a recent incident in some district where the police press releases has quoted the locality where the alleged incident occurred. We all remember last year in June, the Dimawur police issued an advisory saying that certain newspaper, without naming the newspaper, they have the name of a juvenile was revealed, right? And so this violated, as we all know, child in conflict with law and child in need of protection under Juvenile Justice Act. So this was the advisory that was issued. Now, if we look at some of the recent news reporting that has been occurring, where or Juvenile Justice Act, under Juvenile Justice Act, or child in conflict with law. For example, school principal assaulted by minor two other in so and so. Alleged sexual misconduct at school B, where the name of the school was named. Right? Man kid 20 years in Boxer cases, and so forth. Again, most recently, the very prominent incident in Dimapur, right, where some of our own reporting or reportage carried the name of the locality as a identifier, right? So this was, we all know that many of the newspapers and as well as the digital medias, I will mostly concern with both digital medias and our newsroom, the traditional legacy medias. So we, through oversights and maybe sometimes, as I said earlier, going with the flow, we sometimes lose what the legal consequences or what the ethical issues involved. Now, again, recently there was a lot of condemnation regarding my sexual assault in Mitsivima town. So in that, most of the press releases were condemnation by different organizations where the locality of the incident, where the incident occurred, was used prominently. And I checked many of the media reportage, press releases, news report of that incident, and many of our newspapers and our digital medias, they carried the press releases as it is. Right? So these are some of the issues that we need to, as a starter, I want to highlight the issue. Often we see, whenever an incident is submitted, the press statements are about, for example, condemnation, expressing solidarity, demand for swift justice. However, in that, and this is always done with good intention, the organization, the social bodies, the others organizations do this with good intention. However, often it passes the legal boundaries. Right? So whenever we see that, one example is assault of a bona fide member of the student union or of the villages are some of the common examples that we see. Again, in condemnation, you condemn the accused, but at the same time, the accused names and locality and the incidents where the locality where the incident occurred are mentioned by the concerned organization. Again, we have the cases of excommunicating the alleged perpetrator of crime. In that also we have such issues.